Welcome to the ALiENRADiO podcast, a community hub where co-players from every corner of the world come together to share their stories, memories, and love for the band. This podcast is brought to you by Coldplay Malaysia in collaboration with Warner Music Malaysia. I'm Luke from Coldplay Malaysia, and I'll be hosting this very first episode of the podcast. Before we dive into today's discussion, I just want to take a moment to share my gratitude to those who made this project possible. First up, a massive thank you to Warner Music Malaysia from all of us at Coldplay Malaysia. We send you all of our love for giving us the opportunity to work on something as exciting and wide reaching as this. Secondly, the community itself. Over the past months, I've spoken to fans from all across the globe who are just as excited as we are to start this journey. That includes admins from other Coldplay fan clubs, collectors, people who have previously worked with the band, and of course, the fans right here in Malaysia, who are passionate and loud. And I say that proudly.
Yeah.
There you go. Now, you might be asking yourself, what exactly is the Alien Radio podcast? Well, let me flip that around and ask you a few questions. Have you ever had an amazing interaction with the band? Have you ever witnessed something cool that was inspired by them? Or do you have interesting theories about what goes on behind the scenes? Or maybe you've just had thoughts about their music that you've never found the right people to share it with. That is what the Alien Radio podcast is all about. We're creating a space for all co-players, whether you're a casual listener or you're a top 1% Spotify listener for 5 years running. This is your home. This is where we share differing opinions, where we agree with each other, and most importantly, this is where we listen. That is the heart of this podcast. As the show progresses, you'll hear from guests who will share their stories and perspective. So go ahead and claim your I was here for the first episode ticket and let's get the show started. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Alien Radio podcast. How's everyone doing?
Good.
Doing
Very
good.
good.
Hell freaking yeah. Before we start with the questions, before we start with the discussions, can I get everyone here to introduce themselves? Let's start with Steph.
Hi, I'm Stephanie. I'm from KL. I'm happy to join this podcast.
Hey everyone, I'm Sean, also from KL. I'm really happy to be here for the first episode of the Alien Radio podcast. Happy to share all things Coldplay.
Okay, everyone. I'm from Miri Sarawak. Um, yeah, actually been a Coldplay fan for I would say 19 years, 19, 20 years. Yeah, it's good to be here.
This is Edwin. I'm part of the Coldplay Malaysia team. So honored to be part of the few audiences in our very first podcast. Yeah.
Let's go. Welcome, everyone. Hope you guys are finding your seats to be very comfortable for this probably hour-long episode. We'll see. Let's go ahead and start with the questions. Now, how did you first discover Coldplay? Maybe you've heard about them somewhere, heard about them from a friend, saw them on TV. Like, how was the first experience?
I assume everyone's, like most people, would have listened to Coldplay like in the past 20 years on the radio somehow, whether you've known it was a Coldplay song or not. But I have two answers for this. The one that really stuck out was Hymn for the Weekend, which is quite late compared to most people, but I just remember that song being so unique. It just spread so much joy, and hearing Beyonce on that track was very shocking as well. And my other answer would be a parody of Viva La Vida on YouTube. It's from a game called Minecraft. It's really good, but the essence of the song is Viva La Vida. So yeah, that's my answer.
Shout out to Captain Sparkles, Fallen Kingdom.
Hell
Never
yeah.
forget.
I first discovered Coldplay when I heard their song actually on radio. So me and my brother would always turn on the radio. I was actually 2002, I think. I heard the song Yellow and I was so excited that and the next day I actually been recorded it onto a cassette tape. I've been waiting behind or beside the radio for hours. Yeah, so hoping the song will play so I could press the record button at the right moment. And I would say the song is actually very special to me. It marked a beginning of my love for Coldplay. And it was in 2002. I wasn't a big fan then. I don't really know much about Coldplay. I was very young. Yeah, so I started to collecting all their song in 2006. Then I become a fan. Yeah, so that is my first impression. I just back then I didn't know their faces. I never see their faces yet. So yeah, that's pretty much my first impression. I really love the song Yellow. Just sound well, absolutely amazing, I would say.
A couple of things I would like to add on to that is the fact that I think not many people, especially here, had Yellow as their first ever introduction to Coldplay. So, like, for you to be able to hear Yellow for the first time in that era, I think I find it to be quite amazing. Uh, Another thing is that the whole cassette story that you told us, I think it's very relatable for a lot of the people here, especially me. Because for me myself, during the Milo Xyloto era, I find myself um, as a as a very young teenager. I was born at a very young age, guys. As a young teenager, um, I would record the music video on MTV through the screen, through the television screen, so that I could like watch it later. Because back then, I only use a Sony Ericsson phone. It's a very the word we would use here is kapchai. Yeah, a normie phone is what you'd say. Yeah, I would record it just to listen to it later on, or maybe something like maybe in the car. Back then, they used to play Viva La Vida a lot on some of the radio stations. So I would put the phone, I would turn on the voice recorder, and I'll put it on the car speaker at the back, so I could record the radio broadcast. And the fact that now we have like music streaming platforms like Spotify, Apple Music, and all that. Everything is just within a click. Sorry, maybe that's just me being a boomer, even though like everyone here is probably twice my age. So yeah, let's.
Hello. Hello.
Okay. Yeah, Edwin, let's hear it from you.
To be honest, I don't have like an exact timeline for that. But as far as I remember, I wasn't really fan of like English songs back then because part of it is I was actually Chinese educated, and most of my peers back then we all listened to Chinese songs, like the C-pop. It was the era of Jay Chou, Lee Home, JJ, and stuff like that. I wasn't sure how did I actually discover them, but I do recall there was this one instance whereby somebody mentioned about Viva La Vida was being played in the radio, and it was like very popular at the time. So I sort of like heard that on the radio, and the only lyrics that I know is the Viva chant. That was something that, if I'm not wrong, that was actually the starting point in which I discovered them. But I do not know it was Coldplay that time until when I was in my high school. I think during Form 4 or Form 5. That time, another, I would say, mainstream song from them was The Paradise. And I kind of got hooked by that song, especially its very creative MV, the elephant riding, what do you call, a tricycle. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I like that song. I mean, it somewhat like hooked me up into them, and I started like discovering them. But to be honest, at that point of time, they weren't still my top one artist until I think the release of the Ghost Stories album, and I like A Sky Full of Stars a lot. And yeah, from then,
Hey,
yeah,
happy
from then,
11th.
yeah,
Happy 11th to Sky
yeah.
Full of Stars.
Yeah, so yeah, from then on I started like deep dive into their albums a lot. And what made me like truly converted me into a co-player is, I would say, I watched their live 2012 performance in Paris. Boy, that show literally made me to promise myself, oh, one day I will definitely go to a Coldplay concert. That concert was so nice, and yeah, when they were still using the Xylo band, it was so damn magical. And yeah, I did it like 5 years later. I went to my very first Coldplay concert, and in fact, it was actually my very first concert of my life back in 2017 in Tokyo. So yeah, that's my story of how I discovered them.
Do you remember that video that Coldplay posted? I think it was their live performance of Paradise, but it had that Charlie Brown intro.
Yeah,
Oh my god, man. When I first saw that back then, ah, mind blown. It was so good. It was so good. I think Live 2012 has like a special place in everyone's heart.
exactly.
And I think the closest thing you could ever get to experiencing that is whenever they play Charlie Brown live,
Oh my god, yeah.
right? Oh, that.
Yes.
Oh man, I can't. I can't. It's a different
And
beast.
yeah, and bonus is that how Rickard has actually mentioned how he has like yellow, and I tell you the yellow when they played on their 2012 performance, it
Oh,
was so good. I kind of like wish they bring back this kind of intro again.
Sean, Sean, did we not spoke about this the other day?
Yes.
Oh man, it's that piano, the soft intro, and then it goes into that ba 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 ba.
Yeah, I think it hits for everyone. Just how everything else comes in for Yellow, especially Johnny's guitar for me. And to speak on just their live performances, I think what drew me to them initially was their live in Madrid performances, like 1 year before, probably before they debuted Silo Bands, if I'm not mistaken. And even then, their shows were crazy. Some of those videos on YouTube have over hundreds of millions of views, and they are rightfully deserving of them.
It's quite interesting to
I
look back, if you watch those videos, the Live 2012 videos, and to be able to see the evolution of that into what it has become nowadays. Even for Yellow, we have a mirror. What's it called again? That disco ball, the mirror ball.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just with Coldplay, everything is constantly fresh. They would always bring a new variation of a track, even with the way that Chris sings it. I mean, it's a huge meme, right? The fact that when you listen to Coldplay songs, but then you go and then you try to sing it with him live, it's it's never the same way. Especially with songs like Yellow, Viva La Vida. Uh, it's never the same way.
When I was very young, I saw Bones from MTV. So their music video was kind of very simple, right? So I was thinking, how come this guy's video looks so basic and simple? So that's when I first hear their song. And years later, when I listen Talk, Shiver from radio, then I also had friends tell me that these guys, this band are kind of boring. But I was thinking it's okay. But I find it okay because their music were quite chill to me. I mean, not many people like alternative anyway. Then years later, when I discovered Ghost Stories, when I first heard Magic and also Sky Full of Stars, then I started to follow them. And also when I heard Hypnotize, I'm not sure if it rings a bell. When I had Full of Dreams album release, then I was like truly find myself fall in love with them. I told myself one day I must go to their concert. So my first concert was at Tokyo 2 years ago. And then also that's where I know Edwin. So I think my dream came through the time.
Well, you guys are all fans. That's good to know. We're heading into the right direction. Okay, so my next question for all of you: what was the first song or album that made you fell in love with the band for any reason at all? Maybe you fell in love with Chris, or maybe you fell in love with their music, you fell in love with the concept. For me, right, my first album that made me fell in love with a band, the story is quite simple. I first started listening to Coldplay during the Milo Xyloto era. and I was in a car with my cousins. We were heading to our grandmother's home. I think it was for Hari Raya celebration. So you have families going back, and then the highways would always be filled with cars, and then it usually takes time to arrive. So my cousin, I do have to thank him. Shout out Adib Zikri. He told my uncle to put in the disc and the music player, Milo Xyloto. When I heard Milo Xyloto for the first time, I kept looking at my cousin. He was tapping his thighs to the rhythm of the song. And then you have that first track, Milo Xyloto, and it goes straight to Hurts Like Heaven. It was very adrenaline filled track. Things were pumping in that car. It hooked me. And even the concept for the entire album, it was so colorful, and colorful in a way that it really attracted me as a young person. And then I started like, have you guys heard of this online game called Habbo Hotel? It's like those pixelated characters. You go into this hotel, and then you can just basically build your own room and all that. Have you guys heard of that, or am I the only one?
No.
Okay,
I
you've
have
never heard
not.
of that.
No.
But okay, think.
Remember, we are twice your age.
Okay, well, think of The Sims, but more pixelated version. When I would finish school, secondary, I would put on Milo Xyloto while playing. And then one day, YouTube recommended me the trailer for Life 2012. And when I saw that, the trailer, it felt like it was everything. Like I needed to go there. Like at least once before I die. Because that's what everyone was saying in the comment section. No, like you have to. And I know that not everyone agrees with the whole transition from Viva La Vida, and then all of a sudden it's like this very synth pop or synth rock genre that they went for in Milo Xyloto. But I'm grateful that the Milo Xyloto era was my first era, because I can actually enjoy the modern stuff, and then I can also go back to the older stuff. So there's like a balance there. A balance where you start in the middle and then you get to enjoy both sides. It's like when you have divorced parents. I'm kidding.
Honestly, I got drawn into Coldplay like just from the hits, but I really started deep diving into their discography when Everyday Life was set to come out, which was out of nowhere, if I'm not mistaken. It was back in 2019. I was just fawning over all of their. I was basically so deep into A Head Full of Dreams tour, like what they were doing, how it was already over, and they weren't gonna tour ever again. That was the news at the time,
That's
and
hey, that's always been the news, by the way.
yeah,
A Head Full of
it was
Dreams was going
quite
to be our last album. Everyday Life it's like the end, and then like Music of the
yeah.
Spheres, we're just gonna do this thing, and then we're just gonna go.
So with that kind of news looming over the band, I was like, yeah, well, I'll probably not get a new album from them. Who knows? And then like a patiently waiting for a few months, they just tease something out of nowhere. You know their outfits for that era,
Yeah.
full black and white, and like with Arabic fonts and stuff. It was like a total shift from A Head Full of Dreams, which was quite shocking. And then they slowly released singles, and then more about the album, and then the actual release date. And I just remember listening to Everyday Life when it came out, like at midnight, and it sounded so different from what they've done. It kind of captures what they've already done so far. Like Everyday Life has a bit of everything from all of their previous albums. Like you get the fun, cheery one from Orphans, or you get something really experimental like Arabesque, which I just love. And from then, it was just like rabbit hole deeper and deeper. I just love their music so much. And to touch on what you mentioned earlier, like I feel quite privileged to have found them later on in their career, because I wasn't pigeonholed into like their earlier rock genre. So because a lot of fans, they like Coldplay only for the first 2 or first 4 albums, which I can kind of understand, but being a fan that's so late into the game, I get to really enjoy everything. Like Parachutes is one of my favorite albums, and Viva arguably is their best album, even though it's not my personal favorite. But yeah, that's some bits about my experience just being a Coldplay fan.
Speaking of which, right, we're gonna have one episode where we pit 50 old players versus another 50 new code players, and we're just gonna let them fight. It's gonna be a death match. People are gonna go at each other's throats, and
The
then
new players will win.
yeah. Wait, what? Excuse me. That's very one-sided, by the way.
Cut that, cut that.
No, we're not gonna cut that. We're just gonna leave it in there.
Just now I say is my first song was Yellow, but the song that made me fell in love with Coldplay, I think I told you guys I wasn't massive or big fan back in 2002. I really felt really like into Coldplay. It was in 2006, I think. I saw this Pixel video on TV, MTV. I have to say, Pixie is just amazing. The kind of song that really touch your heart. Because they actually start off with this soft and slowly build out, make you feel like you're having this emotion journey, I'll say. And when Chris sing "Lights Will Guide You Home," you can't help but you feel it, like it's talking to you. I don't know. I will say uh, Coldplay probably have a lot of favorites, a different favorite song. But I think Fix You is probably a song that everybody love. Probably like top three, I would say. Even if maybe not the best to them. Yeah. So when the whole band come in, everything just fit together perfectly. I don't know when they're having this bridge, you can hear the Johnny guitar kicks in. It's probably the reason I fell in love with Coldplay. It's a song you listen to when you need comfort and you're going through a tough time. It somehow make things feel a bit easier. Even though I was quite young that time, I think I was 12 or 13. Yeah, I can't sleep at night, so I haven't. Yeah, there's a time I can't sleep at night. So uh, when I think of the song, I just the song is, I would say the song never gets old. Even until this very day, like after 20 years, and no matter how many times you hear it. But if you're asking, so I would say the album that made me fell in love with Coldplay is X and Y, because I actually discovered I collect all the song, all their song. Yeah, I just want to say X and Y. This album is so different and special, and each song make me feel something, whether it was happy or sad or maybe thoughtful. I quickly fell in love with the way Coldplay song. It's like telling you a story, how the music and lyrics works together, and that's actually um, a line in the song, in one of their song that I love. I really love the most. I would say it's probably my favorite album. I would say.
All right, X and Y. Do you have any thoughts on X and Y? Maybe we'll save that when we break down each individual albums. Hmm.
I think it's actually become my favorite quote. You know, from the song, the line is every step you take could be your biggest mistake. It could bend or it could break. That's the risk you take. Any of you recognize that?
Yes.
It could
Yeah.
bend or it could break. Sing it with me, guys. Every step that you take could be your biggest mistake.
Mistake. It could bend or
It
it could
could break.
break.
That's the
That's
risk
the
It's the
that
risk
you
risk
that
that you
take.
you take.
take.
Why What if that? Start singing the whole thing. What If is such an awesome song.
Yeah.
It's very melodic, even the chorus, right? The
I'm not
and
sure
the
if it-
instrumentals, like something with the way they use strings for X and Y, incredible. So I do
yeah.
understand why X and Y would be your favorite album.
Because there are actually a lot of albums, but that's
Yeah,
a album that made me fell in love at the first place. That's
I
why I
see.
start to collect all the Coldplay songs. Yeah,
Oh, don't even get me started with YouTube, man. I think like Coldplay and the fans on YouTube at a time where we don't have these far more accessible ways to connect with other Coldplayers. YouTube was like the central hub for everything. People would post you know what I'm talking about, like those lyric videos with the blue background and like the presentation slideshow made using PowerPoint, a video, like Coldplay, What If? And it's the most horrendous MP3 quality you've ever heard in your life, but you still somehow find a way to enjoy it. It's very nostalgic, especially for me. I think it was big during the Viva La Vida era because we had the demo tapes that came out where we get to hear music like Saint Stephen, the demo for People of the Pride, which is called The Man Who Swears. Very interesting, very interesting.
My first impression is of Coldplay is Viva La Vida, where I sang this with my brother in his car. Then we were so happy at that time, but it's still not my personal favorite, as I mentioned before. Until Ghost Story time, um, where they start to get my attention, and years later, when I listen to my playlist, I notice why there's so many songs on my playlist are Coldplay. So I think this is not a coincidence. Yeah. So when A Head Full of Dreams came out, that song, and I think at that time I was quite down. After I heard that song, I was thinking, it kind of lifted my mood. I was
Uh,
thinking, how come these guys are so amazing? And then I think back all of their songs that I listened in the past actually are, and then I find that they will have been accompanying me for all the while. Yeah. So that's what makes me become a very diehard fan for them. So I guess that's all.
Stephanie, I do want to ask you a question. You said you listened to ghost stories when you were feeling down. Is that correct?
Yeah. But there are other times also feeling down.
Well, yeah, but like I thought Ghost Stories is it's an album where it's like widely known as a very depressing album. Say, am I
Sky
wrong,
Full of
Edwin?
Stars, not right.
Well, yeah, well it's
Yeah, I
okay.
know.
Even for A Sky Full of Stars, Chris fought really hard to get that song on the track list. But
Yeah, I know.
like for
But
myself, I would listen to that album whenever I feel like nothing's going
just
my
that
way.
because that few songs like Magic, appear on
Mhm.
radio. I just heard them. Of course, I did not say that my mood got better, but definitely I know that they have been accompanying me. That's what I'm trying to say.
I love your honesty, by the way. Of course, it did not help with my mood.
Yeah, yeah. They not help, but at least I know I'm not alone.
But oh, we can. There has to be an episode where we just talk about every single one of these albums because there's so much to talk about.
Yeah.
Like
Exactly.
for oh man, for Ghost Stories, I remember um because I fell in love with Coldplay because of Milo Xyloto. And then I think I think it's safe to say everyone had the same feeling whenever they start listening to Coldplay, and all of a sudden the next project that they're working on is like such a drastic turn from what they did from before. For example, you start listening to Coldplay during X and Y, And then all of a sudden, like, the revolution has started with Viva La Vida. And if you're listening to Viva La Vida, and then the next thing was Milo Xyloto, it was his full concept album. And then after that, it was Ghost Stories. And it went like, it's like ups and downs, you know? And in the best possible way. When they first announced Ghost Stories, I didn't even know they were announcing Ghost Stories. I was in class at the time. We were at the science lab, and then my friend got a notification on his phone saying that the music video for Midnight just released. So I grabbed his phone and I sat at the back. Mind you, the class is still going on at the front, by the way. I was sat all the way at the back in the science lab. I was listening to Midnight while crying my ass off. And I had to find ways to, like, suppress the cries so that people wouldn't hear it. It was a very overwhelming feeling to be able to experience like new eras of Coldplay. It's very exciting. Even for whatever the next one might be. Very unpredictable band.
This is a very tough question because my love for them, it's not like those that got like click instantly, like, oh, love at first sight. No, my love with them is sort of like the love was built up eventually to how they are currently. I would say I sort of like shift the question a bit lah for myself. The album or the song that actually sort of like have a profound impact on me and who I am today is definitely X and Y. Yeah, like what Rickard had said, Fix You is such a masterpiece. Back then, when I was listening to Fix You, the interpretation for the song was like, this is such a freaking emo song. But little did I know, yeah, little did I know, it's actually an uplifting song in which it tries to motivate you to get back to your feet when there is, when you got immersed by darkness. Um, Chris or the band, they sort of like reminds us that there will be a light that will guide us home, regardless of when and no matter where we are, no matter how deep we are stuck at the darkness, they are asking us just trust the process. The light is always there. You may, take some time for you to discover them, but yeah, the light is always there. So just follow the light.
Don't go to a hospital and say what you said about Fix You.
Okay.
Yeah, you see a patient, hey man, follow the light. That's what Chris told me.
It sort of like resonates a lot to me. I wouldn't say I have like the best childhood life whatsoever in my life. So yeah, I have a lot. I went through a lot of things, and yeah, this is definitely one of the songs that actually has saved me over and over again. Yeah. So yeah, I think that's when I truly love them.
Mhm.
And the thing is, a lot of Coldplay songs, they are actually very meaningful in a sense that they are how Chris composed the lyrics of the songs. Yeah, that's that's the part that I would say is very mind blowing.
Have you ever seen Coldplay live? If yes, tell us about that experience. Now, I know most of you here are like, I would say, concert addicts. You guys would travel the whole world. So, if you can, share with us about your experience on watching them live.
I went to Europe just for Coldplay. I stayed there for years. And the main reason went to Europe is I actually bought a ticket for this Coldplay Wembley show. And that is the show that I would say I will never forget in my I will never ever forget. And so back in 2016, I got this ticket for Coldplay Wembley show. I'm actually a music lover. I also like other bands like Bastille, Churches. Also have a chance to have this Glastonbury. So that was probably the most most amazing thing I have ever done, or something that even though I spent a lot of money on that, but I'll never regret because it's like a one a lifetime experience.
Exactly. You
So,
hear that, Edwin?
but that's a lot of
Wow.
money. I have to say, a few thousand that I have to spend, and that time was like 21, 22. Yeah, I sell land. Actually, I have land like 3 acres. I sell all the
Oh,
land.
wow.
I just want to go to the concert. Yeah, my father kept that to me.
Wait,
I don't. I think that
no.
I wouldn't do
Dude, are
anything.
you serious? Your dad gave you land and then you sold it for Coldplay?
I wouldn't say sold it for Coldplay. No, 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 no.
Wait,
What I meant to say is
this is breaking news, dude.
no. Yeah, I have this 3 acres. I sold it for
Whoa.
money because I want to go to Europe. It's not
Mhm.
just for music thing. Actually, go there for a ball game. I like to watch football. So, but mainly it's for Coldplay.
Yeah.
I stay there because I want to attend more Coldplay concert. That's probably one of the reasons I would say. And yeah, my first show is back in Wembley Stadium. Uh, I don't know how to describe that. Just I think I cried when they sing "Fix You." So, and I met people there. They're from the UK and they're very nice. That is the first time I met like co-player from. Just before this, I never even have a chance to like meet other people that like co-play. People around me that don't. So I'm from Israel. I don't see anyone like love Coldplay there. But that is my brother. So yeah. So how if you want me to describe how how's my feeling, how I felt back there, I don't know, just I can't find a word to describe it. Just and also they play my favorite song of all time, Every Teardrop is a Waterfall. I think I sing on the top of my lung that day. I think I lost my voice, but it's worth it. Nothing can even compare to that. So yeah, I just want to have more. And after that, I went to Glastonbury. Also, it's Coldplay so happened to be there, and also have another two show in Europe, one in Milan, and the other one in Sweden, Gothenburg. Oh, these four of them had full of dream. I just love it. I'm willing to spend like more all of my money on them. That's why I really like the line from this Yellow. For you, I bleed myself dry. I think for Coldplay, oh, I can bleed myself dry. I think.
Whoa. Whoa.
Financially.
Financially, yes.
Yeah, financially, well, I don't mind bleeding. Yeah, yeah, financially.
No, by the way, I do have to say, very jealous with the fact that you get to hear every teardrop is a waterfall live. What a great honor it would be if they were to like ever bring it back again. Even
I
if
hope they
it's
can actually
just
bring it back in a future tour because it's actually my favorite song of all time. It never changed
yes.
until this day.
No, in my opinion, right? They should go full steam ahead with this um like Milo Xyloto concept, music of the spheres, and then moon music, all of these put together, and then you have like a one big explosion of wonderful Coldplay bonanza. Okay, well, I want you guys to imagine this. You're at the concert. Um, lights go off. They just performed a big show. Lights go off, and everyone's like, you know how the crowd is. They would either start chanting the ole 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 ole, or they would go oh, and then all of a sudden you hear those synths, bam 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 bam, and then the xylo bands lights up, and then everyone would just go crazy, like absolutely bonkers out of their minds, because finally Coldplay has brought back Every Teardrop is a Waterfall back into the playlist.
It would be great.
I'll
What?
turn the music up.
I turn the music.
I agree a lot with what Rickard said. Like trying to narrow it down to like a word or a sentence describing seeing Coldplay for the first time, I honestly can't. Like you just feel so many things when you're seeing them for the first time. Personally, it was in Malaysia for me, and I think we all know what was happening in the news when they were set to play here. Um, some people weren't too happy about it, and there were rumors that it might get cancelled and whatnot. So it was, I mean, overall, it's like 95% still just pure joy, pure excitement. But there was definitely like a little bit of me being worried, like the concert would get cancelled midway through or something like that. But looking back now, that seems really dumb and would not have happened. As for the concert experience itself, they lived up to it. Not that I had any expectations, because like I said, I was chasing after all of their A Head Full of Dreams tour content, everything. I ate it all up, watched everything that tour had to offer on YouTube. And when they announced Music of the Spheres tour, which was unreal, because like I said, I didn't think they would ever tour again, and they come out with this whole alien concept, which was mind blowing. Um, I just felt like, nope, I'm not gonna chase after the tour until I've seen it myself. So it was just surprise after surprise. Like they started with higher power. I mean, they started with the ET theme, which I think is perfect. It just brings you to a place of joy that for me I don't think I've experienced anywhere else. I think it's similar to what people would describe going to Disney for the first time feels like. Like listening to that ET theme for the first time is
Mhm.
our version of Disney, I would say. If you've
Yes.
been to the Music of the Sphere store, and then just higher power, you get going. Adventure of a Lifetime, you don't stop going, and Paradise, you still don't stop. And they just bring back that Milo era energy, which I think I'm really grateful they have Charlie Brown on the set list sometimes as well. Uh,
Hey, we
I've
got it here.
been
We got it here.
Yeah, we were really lucky to get it here.
Oh man.
It's electrifying. I think Milo as a whole is just so electrifying. Every teardrop is a waterfall. Like I would I would do many things to get to experience that live, but maybe one day. But Charlie Brown, I couldn't even remember most of Charlie Brown because I was just so like in
You
awe
blacked
of
out.
everything. Yeah, I honestly blacked out for most of my first show. Like I'm not
Oh
even
man.
kidding. It's a surreal experience, and to circle back to what Edwin mentioned about Fix You, I kind of relate. Like for like during the COVID period, life wasn't exactly pretty,
Mhm.
and I think sinking into Coldplay songs was a real help, and that show really pulled me out from like a really dark place.
Mhm.
So it kind of re-energized my outlook on life, and as a whole how Coldplay as a band and their music shapes who I want to be and like moving forward, like my values and stuff. Like they're big on the environment, like what's right, wrong in the world, and their show incorporates it so well now. It's just getting better at this point, and I don't
Constantly.
think they're gonna stop.
Make
Yeah,
fun of me if you want to, but Coldplay music cuddles you to bed.
oh,
It's like
it does.
it's a warm feeling, you know. Um,
Yeah,
there are songs that tells you that, like Chris, like singing in the song, or like the message of the song is like you always feel some sort of way, but you don't really have to listen to what other people say. You can just be what you want to be. There's this unreleased song that I should probably not talk about, but I'm going to anyways. It's basically a song about how he loves this person so much that even just spending time just doing nothing with that person is like the most favorite thing ever. you don't really hear other artists make songs like that. I mean, obviously there are artists that make songs like that, but if you hear the lyrics to the song, it's very genuine. It's very from the heart.
I
That
mean, even to touch on that side of things, like
mm,
Moon Music, the title track, that's you don't you haven't seen that kind of um what would you call it, vulnerability from
yeah.
Chris, probably from since Ghost Stories. I just think they're the best, and their live shows just it's the show people have to see. I'm really happy and glad that I got to see them at least once, and now I can
Mhm.
say I've seen them 4 times
Let's
because of
go.
the recent Korea shows. I'm really happy, and I'm really lucky. I really want to say it's a really a privilege to be able to see Coldplay live because not everyone gets that chance.
Is anyone out there? I just need a friend.
Is anybody out there? Oh,
No.
that's not what you're
No.
referencing.
No. I would go louder with that one. And that's why we're all here. We're all friends. We need each other in this very tough times.
I didn't go to a lot of concert,
Mhm.
but out of the concerts that I've been, Coldplay, I would say is still my favorite. I can't describe exact feeling that I feel when I attend the concert because it can be a mixture of excitement, and it depends on the songs like Fix You and Higher Power, sometimes you feel I can't describe the feeling lah. I will just say I enjoy all the shows.
I want to
And
ask you,
then
how do you feel when you're at the concert, right? And then when you first see the
yeah,
band walking to stage, and then you hear the ET
I
theme.
just lost my I just lost my mind when I see them on the stage. Yeah.
Chris is on stage and he starts kissing the floor, and then you hear the ba 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 ba.
I just jump with joy. Even though most of the time I seated, but I jump. I did jump.
Yeah.
I didn't care. I didn't care what's going on around me.
Hmm.
After the show, I always been remind myself that Coldplay is like a friend. They'll be around you, no matter there's times of up or down. Yeah, they always be there with you. That's what I feel. Always feel after a show. I feel I feel bad to say
Hmm.
that when Fix You, I know many do cry during Fix You, but I do have some emotions, but I still can't cry. I don't know why.
Oh, why is that?
I have no idea. I have some emotions, yeah,
Yeah.
but I can't cry. Yeah, only last month during the Hong Kong show when they sang "Oh My Love," then I did cry like baby. That's the only time I cried during Coldplay show. Yeah, I listened to that song tons of time. I did not cry. I have no feeling. But when they sang the song live,
Hmm.
"Oh My Love," then I did cry. So this is what I want to share. Maybe I will say different people have different reactions to a song.
Hey, that's why we have this podcast. It's because, other people have their own experiences.
Some will say why you did not cry during Fix You. I just don't know.
That's none of your business. You should have just said that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you don't have to cry for
Yeah.
specific songs.
Yeah,
Each
it's
song
not
means
like
I do
something
have
to you.
emotions. I'm not cold-blooded.
it's not like imagine on the screen behind them they're like you can cry now.
It's
Sorry,
okay.
I'm
Even if you don't cry, there's enough people in the audience to help you. Like fill that
Yeah,
spot, because there's definitely a lot of people crying.
I mean,
yeah.
if you want to say like crying, like even myself, I didn't cry for "Fix You," but the one track that I think got me was, funny enough, it was beautiful.
Oh wow.
Yeah, no, because I love that song so much. I mean, try and break down the lyrics and try to actually see what Angel Moon or Chris is
Mm.
saying. I hope that you get everything you want in this beautiful life. Change for your
Yep.
pocket, someone for the
Right.
night. Yeah. I hope they name you a rocket. Like it's like saying I hope someone sells land to go see Coldplay. Yeah, no.
Maybe I would maybe I'll just want to add on that human heart also make me nearly tear
Mm.
up.
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah, that's the only song also that stir up my feeling. You know,
But
I just nearly pour out, but I did not. Yeah.
I want to add on to that because I even to this day, right? I find it really hard to feel emotional for human heart because you already know what's coming next.
Oh.
Okay,
Oh.
Will. Wah, wah,
When you
wah.
put it like that,
I mean, it's nice and all. Like they put on a show for that. Chris singing with Angel Moon, and it's so sweet. It's so calming. The ooh, the choir for the track, and then
It was
immediately,
so heartwarming.
yeah, as soon as Chris said, "Okay, well, let's go," you already know what's
Thank you, Angel
coming.
Moon.
Yeah. Wah, wah. Oh man.
People on the left.
Hey, what's the new variation? The one in Korea, I think you told me.
Oh, people on the left stand up. People on the right stand up, and people on the back stand up.
I have a video
Mm.
for that. I think it's it's a video of me and my girlfriend just losing our minds as soon as it hits. Because we were okay, especially here, right? Here, and I meant like in this lovely, beautiful country that we live in, the also harmonious and the most welcoming and accepting of people here. You get you get scared. You get scared,
Mm.
especially with
Yeah.
what
Yeah.
Sean said before, like the fear of the whole thing getting shut down. People of the Pride, it's such a good song. It's such a good song. It's like you haven't heard sounds like that from Coldplay in a while. And I think like we talked about this before. I think the closest one was like Violet Hill, right? You have the like that rock song. The
yes.
the as people dubbed it as the truck commercial truck commercial song. But yeah, you hear Human Heart, but you already know what the track list is going to be like. So you know People of the Pride is coming next. So I think it kind of intensifies the anticipation for that song because we're so scared that they're going to replace it with any other songs. But then as soon as it hits, dude, lost our whole damn mind. Like we were quite close to the B stage. I don't think the people around us, like we were on the right side. I don't think people around us knew or have listened to People of the Pride.
Yep.
These are all like Yellow is my favorite song. The Scientist is my favorite song.
And
Kind of crowd
Yep.
over in my area, but oh, we were the only ones screaming at the time.
where were you 2 years ago when I was there?
There's something I might want to add on. Just
Mm,
last one.
yeah,
I went to the Singapore show
yeah.
and I was standing, and when Chris sang Beautiful, and when he sang halfway, he said goodbye. So I was thinking what was going on. Then later on, I know that some the audience were walking off because they need to catch the train. So I felt kind of disappointed with them because like why don't you
Uh,
stay until the end of the show?
mhm.
I saw a footage of them, the audiences leaving, just when Chris sang Beautiful. And I was thinking, why don't you stay towards the end of the show since you are here anyway?
Yeah, no, I hope you know that that is actually quite a common thing that people do when it comes to concerts. It's just that they wanted
Yeah,
to beat the traffic. I understand that. That one I could understand. But like as a fan,
yeah, they
right?
will leave like during the last one or two songs.
Yeah, but as a fan, you can't help but to wonder. I mean, like this is like a once in a lifetime kind of experience. So why wouldn't you want to stay till the end? But yeah, no, traffic gets crazy, so I get it. I get it. Is Beautiful still the last track of the set list?
No,
No.
What's the last track?
it is. Feels like.
Mm,
Oh. Oh.
Yeah.
songs that are sung, yeah. Feels like it's the
Uh,
last one.
Okay,
Yeah.
now I want you guys to imagine we're nearing the end of the what's the second last track?
Second last track.
Good feelings.
Good feelings. Yeah.
Good feelings. Okay, good feelings and then all of a sudden you hear
I got this feeling.
I get this feeling oh man. I get this feeling. I get this feeling as if the band is keeping some of these things for something in the future, you know?
I hope so.
This is gonna be very controversial, but like, are you really expecting anything to happen at Wembley?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
Like, I mean, think about
Um,
Glastonbury. Think about what was the other one? Like, it happened right at the beginning of the year. It's the one where they played
uh,
Orange.
No.
Oh man.
nope.
Okay, basically, I think it was the first big concert of 2025 or
Oh.
2024. Yeah, the first comeback concert. But yeah, like they gave us nothing basically. People thought they were going to play something, but then it was just like a tribute song for the football club called Orange.
Just to talk about that a little more,
Mm.
you mentioned like, are they gonna do anything for Wembley? It's hard to say. Um, Edwin will know. Um, we got guest appearances for the Soul shows, which was mind blowing, insane, absolutely crazy. I think that's gonna happen. Um, for the Wembley shows, but as for the set list, I'm not too sure because I was quite confident with them replacing some songs for the like with mood music tracks. I mean, they have, but I expected more, like Jupiter
See,
or Man in the Moon.
why can't they just play Eterna in full?
Exactly. I'm not saying the Breakaway currently isn't good because
Yeah,
I
that's
danced the hell to that song, but I would love to get to dance to a Turner and hear Johnny's guitar live. That would be crazy.
yes.
I think Wembley. I'm being hopeful that they'll change it up
Hmm.
at least for like a few shows because they're playing 10 shows there
They have to, right? They have to.
for Edwin's
They
sake,
have to. For Edwin. By the way, context, Edwin is going to the Wembley show.
which is amazing. Yay!
Amazing. Yeah, good for him. Little
Wow.
you mother.
I think Luke is hinting for you to bring him there, Edwin.
No, lah, I
The
cannot
problem is
lah.
I couldn't get any more tickets. Yeah.
No. I cannot. I don't think I could. You people go to concerts like all across the world, but then like, how could you just leave your maybe your work life or your student life just to go to see Coldplay?
You remember how we talk about how we bleed ourselves die for them?
Hmm. All right. All
Yeah.
right.
I mean, I guess just to talk about the Soul shows,
Hmm.
it was quite. I mean, it's not that far in advance, but I was lucky enough to be able to get time off for it. So, I mean, if there's like other things that you mean with your question about leaving behind, love just to travel the world and see Coldplay. I mean, Coldplay in a sense is my home, and
Hmm.
I I wouldn't agree with what I just said before going to Seoul, but after really seeing people from all over the world that I've been chatting to online, like experience the same thing, have the same like feelings towards what's happening in the show, I think it's worth it. Like it's honestly so much preparation just to travel and see them like live, and even just buying like overseas concert tickets is overwhelming. But I do it all over again. It's worth it.
Now that
Let's
right
go
there.
back to the start.
How has being a co-player shaped who you are today?
Ooh. You wanna go ahead, Edwin? Or
And no. This one, what I wanted to say is like I can talk a lot about this.
oh, honestly, same,
Mhm.
same. Like with the years of them, quote unquote, not being active like online, seeing them closing off the A Head Full of Dreams tour with like their values and where they stood at that time, like just where they stand in the world, their viewpoint. I tend to agree with a lot of it, especially, I mean, not that you have to have passion in environmental studies or whatever, but that was a huge thing that I went to university for. Um, and seeing like their core values align with mine, it's just super inspiring. And like how you mentioned at the start, Luke, like
Mhm.
how has Coldplay really affected us, like fundamentally, like our views and their efforts in trying to just make Earth better. I just stand behind that so much. And also being kind. Like Chris is like the face of that. He's always like so kind to everyone. And I've seen people make fun of him, and it's quite disheartening. But
And you know what's the
how?
worst part? The worst part
Yeah,
is the people that made fun of him are also other artists.
yeah, like people
For all
who,
of the effort that the Music of the Spheres World Tour is taking, the initiatives. So yeah,
yeah,
that
they're
mm,
like who people who, I mean, people know, like they're rich. They don't have to be doing all of this.
mhm,
Most people who have like their own tours that are touring around the world in stadiums, they don't have to be putting all this out. And honestly, with that live event we held like a month or so back, like the live in 2003,
yeah,
it really opened my eyes that Coldplay has had values like that since their like starting their career. Not it wasn't really a thing that they turned on middle of their career. Like, oh, we
mm,
want to do this. Oh, we want to do that. They've always been like they've always had really driven goals like that from the
yeah.
start. And to see it in like full gear now, like it's always so inspiring. And I think that on top of everything that I've mentioned, it's just the band as a whole is really inspiring. And it I think it brings forth the best in me
Yeah.
as a person. And I try to be just like as open minded, as kind, as patient towards everything in my life when I'm really deep into Coldplay.
It started with putting papers for Make Trade Fair underneath the seats at the concert and into what we have now at the concert.
Yeah, we have like a
It's
whole 3 minute segment of the live show
yeah.
dedicated to them explaining how your ticket and how like your purchases through Coldplay help the world.
The Escapist, by the way. Don't sleep on that.
Yes.
Let me just highlight some of the few main points that the values that they have actually instilled to me. One of it is actually how they actually change how I view the world. As you know, Chris is like a mini philosopher. The way he thinks, the way he sees and interpret things is very, very different. I think back when I was like secondary school, I was so used to taking people's feedback or their views on me very personally. I can say that I don't like judgment a lot. Like, oh, Edwin is like that one. He is like this. So I used to take people's word very seriously. Like a lot of things in which we cannot do it or have it like for example do things perfectly. I used to think that everything must be executed in a perfect order, like in a very orderly manner. One thing that sort of like influenced me in a sense is that I'm actually a perfectionist. I am born as a Virgo, so yeah, that's like my personal trait. As things go I mean, as time goes by, I sort of like understand what Chris has been telling us about. Like, you don't have to be affected by people's judgment or whatsoever, as long as you are being true to yourself. That's what uh, it truly matters. I would say one of the values that I learned from them is how we actually love ourselves. I can say most of us in today's society, they don't practice self-love that much.
Correct.
So yeah, I mean, of course, some people they are very selfless. They tend to care about people's feelings. They want to take care of somebody's welfare first, before like emphasizing on their own personal welfare. But to me, it's actually the other way around. We should be able to take care of ourselves first. Only then you are obligated to actually help others.
Correct. That is very important.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
you always
So
have to put yourself first, and then
yes,
you can start
so
considering other people.
correct. So same thing like in the relationship, you should be able to love yourself first before giving that love
Hmm.
to somebody else.
Yeah.
So yeah, but a lot of us we actually overlooking at this one specific point lah, which is the self love lah,
No, I
and
think the
self
main
esteem
thing here
is
is always trying to like satisfy other people's feelings rather than ourselves. But usually, when you focus on that, you would end up losing yourself in the process. And all you could think about is just trying to, like, how can I fit a square block in this circle hole?
yes, that's another part of our the sad truth about of our society today.
Yeah.
We are trying to fit ourselves into somewhere that we don't even belong in the first place. So yeah, that sort of thought me of don't try to be the norm, but yeah, rather be the
Unusual.
someone who is yeah someone who is unique
Yeah,
and
unique.
sort of like yeah outside of the norm, but still have you as you, not
Hmm.
somebody else. You're
Yeah.
not trying to be somebody else. You are as unique as you are. Yeah. So this is one of the values that they have taught me, and of course, I would go with the second one is how they have actually helped in preserving our Earth. To me, this is one of my proudest accomplishment. If I were to have my very own record book, yeah, this is definitely that I am proud of. I started practicing recycling, I think back in 2018, 2017-ish. And yeah, I have also been volunteering a lot when it comes to environmental awareness. I am also currently a Greenpeace volunteer. They have taught me, how to give our love not only to human, but also animals, nature, and yeah, things that are not even alive. I think these are the main two values that they have actually instilled upon me. I feel I feel so vulnerable.
That's what we do this for. That's why we do this. So that people, so
I
that
think
you,
that's
yeah.
one hidden strength like code players have,
Mm-hmm.
being vulnerable. Because not everyone can like say that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the best part is I wasn't like this when I mean like what 10, 10, 15 years back. I was I was very self-centered. I was uh, narcissist. I don't recall me, like being the very sharing kind, like especially when it comes to my feelings. And this has actually changed a lot when I started listening to them. Believe it or not, like it sort of helps when you start to share your feelings with others. I mean, I used to be a lone wolf earlier. I don't go around and like share my feelings with even my close friends. Yeah, I can say I fought through my own battle by myself previously, but now I can say that I have many friends, like you guys,
Count them.
to actually So, sorry, what? To actually, to
Count
actually
count them right now out
stand
loud.
beside me lah. Yeah.
1, 2.
Cukup lah. Yeah.
They had taught me not to be just a kind person, but also being compassionate and not to be so hard at others because sometimes I can be very pushy. When I want things done, I can be quite pushy, and then I find out myself I should cut some slacks to others and be considerate to how others feel because sometimes we don't know what others have gone through as well.
Mhm.
Yeah, so and I also learned that love knows no religions and no culture and also no races. Yeah,
Correct.
that's what Coldplay taught us about. And I find that everyone, including myself, we kind of hate, sometimes we hate ourselves. Even until now, I hate myself for behaving in such way. And people also hating each other. I mean, hatred is a thing now.
Mhm.
So I think Coldplay teach us that to make peace with ourselves and with others. And I also like their philosophy because their philosophy will kind of align with my core values.
Yeah.
Yeah, so and I find myself I used to find myself I used to have low self-esteem because I find myself other different than with other people.
Mhm.
And Coldplay makes me learn that all of us are unique. We are one of kind, and we not just learn to love ourselves, but also accept for who we are. It doesn't matter if anyone thinks you are weird. So what? I'm weird. I now I don't care how others feel
Mhm.
about myself. Yeah. So I just know that I'm unique and one of kind, and as long as my friends, my family love me, that's all it matters to me. I even though I don't have a lot of friends, yeah, but I just happy with what I have now.
That is beautiful. Thank you very much, Stephanie.
Yes. If
Um,
you want peace, be peace. If you
if
want
you want
love, be
love, be
love.
love.
Everyone is an alien
Yes,
somewhere.
yeah.
See, this is one of the goals that when I had the idea for this podcast. This is the type of things that I would love to be able to showcase to co-players, everyone, whoever that's listening out there. Um, it's the fact that Coldplay is not just a band that makes music. They also teach us all these things that maybe people find it hard to speak about. You know, when it comes to love, loving who you love, or love knows no religion, knows no boundaries. Well, I mean, terms and conditions applied. Like you can be a weirdo, fine, but like you know, you know. But like
Go on.
no, it's okay. I think people understand what I'm trying to say. It's fine to be weird in your own way. It doesn't matter if people care. I'm trying to give an example, but I feel like I'm not vulnerable enough to speak about it yet. But yeah, I mean I'm weird in my own ways. And you know me, I'm a student right now. I'm studying, and I find it really hard to get along with other people when it comes to like coursework. When I have to work with other people because I feel like it's hard for them to understand the concepts that I'm trying to give. Because of that, when I try to explain my ideas, this and that, people tend to go like, "Huh, okay, so this guy is weird." The good thing about it is that because of Coldplay, I learned not to care as much about the things that people say about me. I'm proud of who I am today. I do have to owe it all to the band. I'm gonna close. I know I said the last question was the last question, but I'm gonna close this podcast, the first episode, with a very important question for each and every single one of you. The question is, what is the one track from the band that you would like for them to bring back for future tours? Not for songbook, but the main track list.
That's incredibly difficult.
But you can only choose one, so you have to choose wisely.
War against us.
Sorry, what?
World Against Us.
Oh, Us Against the World.
Us Against the World.
Oh, sorry, Us Against the World. Yeah.
Oh, the normal
Oh,
version or the Silverbird version?
Oh.
Silverbird. It has to be Silverbird.
So fly on that Silverbird.
Won't you
Um,
fly out to me?
Is there a specific reason why you chose that song? I mean, we all know why, but you know, maybe on a personal level, is there a reason why you chose that song?
Well, I guess this will be the most suitable track to be keep on to their show forever.
I was gonna say that too,
Mm-hmm.
but I do have another song. It's quite hard to choose, obviously,
Okay.
but I want them to play Everything's Not Lost.
Oh.
I don't know where that would fit in the set list currently,
Yeah.
but I really want them to play that.
I mean,
'Cause
it's always
that's
been a closing track, right? Everything's not lost.
yeah. I
Would
think they did play it in like early in their current tour. I don't know
yeah.
where. I think they did play that, and I saw it. I'm like, wow, it's so good. It's one of those songs that's like captures everything. And in terms of the music, I think everyone like has their part.
Mhm.
Will has a really special drum part. Chris is obviously always singing. Johnny gets some crazy riffs. Guy is like constantly just powering through that bass. It's so good.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, this
I-
is considered cheating, I guess, because I asked for one track, but then at the same time, Everything's Not Lost is also connected to Life is for the Living, right? So,
Yeah.
would you like Life is for Living also connected to that track as the last?
I mean, if it was a closer, honestly, why not? It would be a really good closer, but I don't see them doing that. But we're not talking about the band doing that. We're talking about what I wish would
Yes,
happen.
you get to be
So
selfish with this question. It's what you
yeah,
want.
so
Who
I would
cares
want
about what
that.
the crowd wants? This is what you want.
Like if I could have each album have like an intimate show, if I could see
Yeah.
that, that would be amazing. But
Oh man.
everything's not lost, and paired with Life is for a Living. Yeah, that's my pick.
Now I never meant
Meant to do
to do
you
you.
wrong.
Oh,
That's what I came
I
here to
came here to
say.
say.
But if I was wrong,
Was wrong,
then I'm
then I'm
sorry.
sorry.
Don't let it stand in our way. This aches when I think of.
I think I will go with Coloratura.
Oh.
Yes. Remember how I say Fix You is my number one song? So this is currently my number two song. So it's like my top two song.
Mhm.
So yeah,
Because you already know
I
Fix You is going to stay there.
yes. So I would die, just to
Yeah.
see them perform live.
I
yes,
think
please.
if I say this song, I think everyone here would agree with it. Maybe not Stephanie, but I'm pretty sure Edwin and Sean would agree to this song being back on the track
Okay.
list. So the song, it's an indie song. It's a tiny little song made by the band called All I Can Think
Don't panic.
About Is You.
Oh.
I knew it.
Dude, Edwin, we heard the version that they played in Tokyo, right? Remember the
Yeah.
that session? Uh, it's too good. It's too good to not be played back. And I know that like the reason, the only reason they couldn't bring it back is because Chris would fail every time he sings a song because it's just way too high. But I don't even mind it being like, lip sync. But it's the fact that we get to hear those instrumentals live. It's too good. Johnny's guitar in that track, it's mind blowing. All I Can Think About Is You has to be one of my favorite songs of all time. It's so good, yeah. I'm just playing it in my head right now.
That's all
Uh,
I get.
that's all I get. All I get.
You went so high with that EP, like even with Hypnotize. Like that's one of my favorite songs from them as well. Like that song just builds and builds and builds.
Ooh. We're gonna have like so many more episodes talking about album breakdowns. We're gonna have guests. Shout out to Hyunjae from Korea, who will be
Yeah,
joining us.
Hyunjae.
Yeah, who will be joining us for the We Pray episodes, I think. Where we're gonna talk about We Pray and all of its collaborations. We're gonna talk about all the messages in each of those collaborations, and then we're gonna talk about yeah. There's just so much to talk about. There's all these like fan projects going on. Um, we can ask people who have met the band themselves, maybe speak on their experience and all that. So, with that, I would like to thank everyone here, including those who have already left, because they have other commitments. Um,
They want to sell land.
yeah, they have to go sell their land.
They
They
are
have to go.
procuring more land so they can get to more Coldplay concerts.
Yeah, Wembley's coming up, so they have to get those tickets. But yeah, once again, thank you everyone for gathering here. I thank you with all my heart for sharing all of your experiences, for being vulnerable for the rest of the world to hear, basically. It means a lot to me and to also the people listening. I'm sure of it. Each of the episodes of the podcast that we'll do, there's always so much more to learn. Thank you everyone for coming to the Alien Radio podcast, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye
Thank
bye.
you.
See ya.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye
Bye bye.
Yeah.
bye. See ya.
Bye.
Away.
Away. Speaking a language without a name.